endured it for thousands of years, but now science can tell you exactly why heat and cold make you stronger, sharper, and maybe even happier. Drop a comment and let us know your ultimate temperature challenge.
Please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Check the description for trusted sponsors and ways to support the show.
You know what's fascinating? Our ancestors used extreme temperatures for healing and performance for thousands of years, but only now are we discovering the incredible science behind why it works.
Well, that's really interesting timing because I was just reading about how the Finnish people have been using saunas since 7000 BC. Let's dive into what modern science tells us about these ancient practices.
The research is pretty mind-blowing. Studies show that regular sauna use can reduce cardiovascular death risk by up to 40%. That's better than many medications. But we should probably start with some safety guidelines since we're dealing with extreme temperatures.
That's exactly what I was thinking, especially since pregnant women and children under 16 need to avoid saunas completely. What temperature range are we talking about for adults?
For most health benefits, we're looking at 176 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit in a sauna. But here's the key. You need to work up to those temperatures gradually. It's like training any other system in your body.
So what's happening physiologically when we expose ourselves to that kind of heat?
Well, your cardiovascular system responds similarly to exercise. Increased heart rate, improved blood flow, and your blood vessels dilate to help cool you down. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your brain releases these compounds called endorphins and endorphins in a specific sequence.
You know what fascinates me about that? The way the initial discomfort from endorphins actually enhances the euphoric effects of the endorphins that follow.
Exactly right. And that's just the beginning. The heat exposure also triggers something called heat shock proteins, which act like cellular maintenance crews, helping to repair and maintain protein structures throughout your body.
Well, that explains why so many athletes are incorporating sauna sessions into their recovery routines. How long should people be staying in for these benefits?
Let me break down 3 specific protocols we've seen in the research. For cardiovascular health, you're looking at 5 to 20-minute sessions, 2 to 7 times per week. For general health, aim for an hour total per week split into 2 to 3 sessions. But here's the really fascinating one, the growth hormone protocol.
That's the intense one with multiple sessions in a single day, right?
Right, 4 30-minute sessions in one day with cool-down periods between each. But here's the crucial detail. You only do this once a week or less, and you want to be in a semi-fasted state to maximize growth hormone release.
Speaking of temperature extremes, should we talk about the flip side? Cold exposure? The science there is equally fascinating.
Well, cold exposure is particularly interesting because it works through completely different mechanisms. The key is finding your personal cold challenge point, that temperature where you think, this is really cold and I want to get out, but I can safely stay in.
That's quite different from what most people might expect, that there's some magical, perfect temperature everyone should aim for.
Exactly. And here's something surprising. Even just 20 seconds in very cold water around 40 degrees Fahrenheit can cause significant increases in epinephrine. But longer exposures at milder temperatures, like 60-degree Fahrenheit water for an hour, can lead to prolonged dopamine increases.
Well, that explains the post-cold plunge euphoria people talk about. How does this translate into practical protocols?
Here's the basic cold plunge protocol that's well supported by research. 11 minutes total per week, split into 2 to 4 sessions of 1 to 5 minutes each. But I really want to share this concept called counting walls that makes cold exposure more effective as a mental training tool.
Please explain what you mean by walls. I'm really curious about this approach.
So instead of just watching the clock, you count the mental barriers or walls you push through, those moments when your mind screams, "Get out!" Each time you overcome one of these walls, you're building mental resilience that carries over into other areas of life.
That's fascinating, how it becomes more about mental training than just physical adaptation.
Precisely, and this is where the magic happens. When you stay completely still in cold water, your body creates a thermal layer that actually insulates you. But if you want to maximize the resilience-building effects, you should move your limbs to break up that thermal layer.
Well, that's a game changer for anyone currently doing cold exposure. What about timing? Does it matter when you do these protocols?
Here's something counterintuitive. After cold exposure, your body actually heats up. Because of this, it's better to do cold exposure earlier in the day, as that post-exposure heating effect can interfere with sleep if done too late.
You know what I find most remarkable about all this? These powerful health tools are essentially free and accessible to almost everyone.
That's right. Whether it's a cold shower or a sauna session, we're talking about simple interventions that can have profound effects on both physical and mental health. The key is starting slowly, being consistent, and listening to your body's signals.
Well, before we wrap up, what would you say are the absolute most important takeaways for someone just starting with temperature exposure?
First, safety is paramount. Start with milder temperatures and shorter durations. Second, consistency matters more than intensity. Regular exposure at moderate levels beats occasional extreme sessions. And finally, pay attention to how your body responds and adjust accordingly. Remember, this isn't just about physical adaptation, it's about building both physical and mental resilience.
That's such a comprehensive overview of both heat and cold exposure protocols. Thank you for breaking it all down so clearly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from ancient practices to cutting-edge science. Remember, whether you're stepping into a cold shower or sitting in a sauna, you're participating in one of humanity's oldest and most effective health practices. Until next time, stay cool or hot, depending on your protocol.
Thanks for tuning in to the Wellness Lab Digest. If this episode helped you, here are 3 quick ways to support the show. 1. Subscribe to stay updated with fresh, body-loving wellness insights. 2. Share this episode with a friend who needs this today. 3. Comment below and tell us what topics you'd love to hear next. Want to do even more? Check the video description for ways to support the show. Stay curious, stay well, and we'll see you in the next episode.